Hi Gemini, this is Teresa. Welcome to July and your Love TarotScope. This is Teresa from tarotbyt.com. And before I get started on your reading, I want to call in some good energy and create some sacred space around this reading. And I want to say thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you for those who have taken the time out to leave comments. I really appreciate your feedback. And for those who have ordered readings, thank you. I welcome your support, and I've enjoyed working with you. I appreciate. Thank you for choosing me to do a reading for you. So, what's happening for July for Gemini? We're having, first of all, Mars is retrograding in Aquarius. It started to go retrograde at the end of June, and we're having two eclipses, a new moon eclipse, solar eclipse in Cancer on the 12th, and a lunar eclipse in Aquarius on the 27th. Mercury's going retrograde. This is going to be a big month. So hold on to your, what is it? Hold on to your hats. It's going to be a bumpy ride. So let's see what Gemini needs to know about love and relationships for the month of July. What does Gemini need to know about love and relationships for the month of July? May only the highest forces be present to ensure that the truth be told. For those of you wondering, this is the Morgan Greer deck. This is my old faithful deck that I've been using for years, as you can tell. It's worn out. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, the Hermit, the Three of Wands, the Strength, the Wheel of Fortune, the King of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. So you've been working really hard on some project. And the Nine of Pentacles, you could be thinking, this is a card of, the Knight is a card of someone who's not afraid of hard work, who's willing to do the work, very stable, very down to earth, very dependable. So this could represent qualities that you've been dealing with within yourself. You know, like, I have this goal, I have this dream, I'm going to do the work until I get there. And you're really wanting to achieve something in July. And with the Nine of Pentacles crossing it, I feel like July is not so much love as it is career. Because the Nine of Pentacles is someone who works independently. You might be wanting to start your own business. Or you might be feeling like, I need more independence at work. I want to work autonomously. I don't want to have a boss over me. You know, I want to be more independent. I want to be able to make my own decisions, make my own schedule. So you're looking for freedom in terms of, with the Nine of Pentacles. It also offers financial stability, but at the same time, the Nine of Pentacles is, the woman in this card is kind of lonely. She's got a comfortable financial situation, or she may have a home, a beautiful home, and she may be okay financially, not too much of a struggle, but she's just like lonely. And again, here with the Hermit, you're feeling lonely in July, or you have been feeling lonely. Maybe you've been focusing too much on work and not enough on relationships, and you've been cutting yourself off from people. Because I'm not seeing the love here in July. I'm feeling like you've been just working on something. That something is taking your attention. That, and with the Hermit, you're really doing a lot of soul searching. And this is in the past, so you've been really doing a lot of thinking, like, what do I want in my life? Where do I want to go? What do I need? in terms of relationship, but also in terms of career and life path. It's not just, I think that's important too. And you may have connected with a group of people, because the Three of Wands is here. You've experienced some success already. And you may be working in a team or with a group of people, and that's been turning out okay, but you're still feeling isolated and alone. Like you're feeling like you don't have the support. The Hermit, sometimes, you may need to go to someone for advice. It could also be that you're working in a career where you're giving advice. But sometimes the Hermit is a lonely card. It's like you have to take time out to think and follow your own wisdom, or seek the wisdom of someone whose opinion you respect, like a counselor or a parent or a good friend. You have the Strength card here and the Wheel of Fortune coming up. So what the Strength card is about, it's about controlling your emotions, not going to extremes. It's taming the beast within. This card, the person she's taming the lion. So you could be dealing with someone who's very difficult, and you feel like you have to handle them with kid gloves. Maybe they have anger issues, and you can't just come right out and tell them things. You have to kind of spoon feed them. This is a card of like walking on eggshells a little bit. Sometimes the Strength comes up when you're needing to deal with a counselor. So there could be a relationship issue where you're dealing with someone who has anger, or doesn't know how to express their anger, or they don't know how to get their needs met without going over the top. And they may need counseling. They may have some psychological issues that need to be worked out. So if you're having problems in a relationship in July, whether it's business or personal, counseling could help. Going to someone for advice, learning how to not be reactive. Don't let someone push your buttons and then you overreact. Learning how to be calmer and learning how to be more diplomatic when you're trying to get your needs met. Or if it's someone going for anger management classes, going to counseling to learn how to handle your emotions, so you don't go to extremes of emotion. And you don't, one day you're chewing someone's head off and the next day, okay, I don't know where that came from. Where you're nice one day and then all of a sudden you're over the top the next. So you have to learn how to control that. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, things are changing in your life. So I feel like you're on the edge of a new beginning. And maybe that's why you've been doing a lot of thinking, because a part of you is something is coming to an end. You've got the Ten of Swords here. So something that you've been giving a lot of energy to, it could be a relationship, but it could also be some type of career path that is just not working the way you want it to. And so you're doing some thinking okay, if this doesn't work, then why? What do I need to do? Because I can't keep putting energy towards something and get nothing back. I feel like, you're coming to the end of the line with something. And you may come to certain realizations that, I need to cut my losses and move on to something else, because I'm not getting what I need. With the Wheel of Fortune, though, there could be a new opportunity coming that will help you to make that transition. And again, here with the King of Swords, you could be dealing with another air sign, a Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Or you're dealing with someone who, the King of Swords, you may feel like someone's being too harsh with you. Could be an authority figure, a boss, or even a partner that you feel is too critical or too judgmental. Could be a parent even, a father figure, a mother figure. This is in your negative thinking sector, so it could be that you're trying to decide. The King of Swords, he comes across as harsh because he doesn't appear to have any compassion. He operates based on logic, not emotion. Where some people make decisions based on their heart and how they feel. This king makes decisions based on the facts. and what's realistic and what makes sense. It doesn't matter. The heart doesn't have anything. It's not in the equation. So even if he loves someone, he's gonna make a decision in spite of that love. So he may decide to leave a relationship because he feels it's the best thing to do. Even though he's deeply in love with the person. It's kind of crazy. But so the king is trying to separate what's real from what is not real. The king wants to be fair, but he wants the truth. So you could be trying to make sense out of something in your life right now, where you're trying to figure out what's real and what's not real. You know, what can I hope to achieve realistically in this relationship? Where do I need to cut my losses? Where do I need to focus my energy? Because you've got the Seven of Pentacles here in your environment. So you have planted some seeds. And some of them have been successful. You have the Three of Wands in the past. So you've seen some results, but maybe the results were not what you expected, or not as much as you expected. So now you're in the evaluation stage. You're evaluating your situation. Like, do I want to continue? So you're waiting to see, do I want to continue? Or should I just, stop putting my energy toward a losing cause, a lost cause? So and then you have the Ace of Swords, which is a time card. And this is a time that relates to September, October, November. So I feel that during this period, probably the later part of the period, like the end of October, beginning of November, you're going to be making a decision. And you're going to take action. That's the time to take action, not now. Because we got all this retrograde energy and all these eclipses. I mean, Mercury's retrograde, Mercury will be going retrograde, Mars is already retrograde, Pluto's retrograde, Saturn's retrograde. I mean, it's not the time to push forward. Jupiter will come back online in the middle of the month. It's going to go direct, but your planet, your ruling planet Mercury, is going to go retrograde. So you don't want to initiate anything during a Mercury retrograde period. You don't want to initiate anything during a Mars retrograde period. You won't have the energy. The Ten of Swords, like, you're not going to have the energy to keep it up, to keep it going. So now's the time for evaluation, to slow down and think about your path and where you want to go. Because by the end of the summer and the beginning of fall, you're going to be then you're going to get your energy back, and you're going to want to go forward. There's going to be an opportunity for a new beginning. You're going to be excited about it, but it's going to be involving ending something that's been draining your energy. So if something has been, you've been putting all your energy into something and it's just not working, it may be that you decide to, I'm going to go on a different path. I'm going to leave it behind. I'm going to, something may be coming to an end so that you could start something else that works. So because you're going to get fired, because like the Wheel of Fortune is unexpected. Something unexpected comes out of the blue, some new opportunity, and it'll allow you to start a new thing and stop wasting your energy on something that's just been, look at this. This is like, I feel stabbed in the back. I feel defeated. I feel, it's like, I just can't do it anymore. So whatever it is that's been not working, that's been draining you, that may come to an end, but that's going to free you then with the Ace of Swords to go in the direction that you really want to go in. You're going to be energized. You're going to be willing to fight. There'll be some challenge that you have to overcome, either in a relationship. So let's see what the astrology has to say for July. So the solar eclipse, this new moon, is happening in your second house. So there'll be some issues on security and money. There'll be a new opportunity to make money, but it's going to be tied up with your self-esteem and what your values. Something may, some male figure may be eclipsed from your life at this time. But, so you might be worried about money, or you might be worried about, you have to like depend on your own resources. Pluto's going to be in the 8th house. Pluto is strong in the 8th house because that's the house that he rules. So there could be power struggles over money or possessions or security. There could be power struggles. If it's not a power struggle, there could be a very strong physical attraction, because the 8th house is the house of sex, also transformation. But really, I feel like you're going to be confronting certain truths about yourself and about others at this new moon, and that's going to. So you're going to see some. I mean, you may not see the whole truth until the full moon, but the issues around how much support am I getting out of my relationships? Am I being valued? Am I getting what I'm worth? Whether it's in a career path, am I getting paid what I'm worth? If it's a relationship, am I getting what I really deserve from this relationship? You have a grand trine in your 4th house, Venus in the 4th, Saturn in the 8th, Uranus in the 12th. So there are psychological issues that you have to deal with Uranus in the 12th. You're releasing baggage, psychological baggage. Maybe you had a father figure that was very critical, and you have to deal with that. You have to deal with who was it in your life that made you feel insecure? And why are you accepting less than you deserve? That's the issue that you're going to be dealing with. Now, Venus in the 4th is great. You might be fixing up your home. Venus in the 4th is, a great time to work on your house. Work on your living. You want to create your sanctuary. Your house should be your sanctuary, where you get recharged. So you might be moving into a new house, a beautiful home, or you might be beautifying your home so that it speaks to you, so that it is your place of refuge, where you can go to heal from the world, And Saturn and Pluto are in your 8th house. Those are the heavy boys in the 8th house. That has to do with other people's money, your partner's money. Sometimes Pluto can bring an inheritance. You're learning how to deal with resources. And Saturn sometimes can bring expenses that you have to deal with. You have to get serious about money. And you have to change your approach to money. But the approach, what you receive as support from the universe in terms of security and financial stability is tied to your self-esteem. So you have to, and with Uranus in the 12th, you have to really, look at yourself and what you've been putting up with and what you've been accepting, and release those things that have been holding you back, where we self-sabotage, so that you can bring in or attract what you really deserve. So I think that's going to be an issue at the new moon. You have this opportunity at the new moon eclipse. It's an eclipse, so that could be ending and a new beginning. Especially with this, with Uranus involved, it could be unexpected. You have a grand trine, and what you think is going to happen may not happen. Something else better might happen. The full moon at the end of the month is in your 3rd house, 3rd and 9th house, and Mercury starts going retrograde in the 3rd house, so there could be some misunderstandings with relatives. You might be dealing with, brothers, sisters. Communication could be tricky, especially with Venus opposing Neptune. You want to be careful that whatever if you're committing to something, get it all in writing. If there's some kind of contract, But with Neptune opposing everything, you want to make sure that you know what you're agreeing to, that you're not going to be getting surprises. So there are going to be issues around money. There are going to be issues around communication, around relatives, maybe inheritance. You might be arguing with relatives over an inheritance or some financial aspect. You might be signing contracts or dealing with some kind of communication project. Just make sure that you know what you're getting into. But Uranus is in the 12th house right now. It's preparing you. You know, and the eclipses, sometimes they make things happen. Things happen out of the blue that all of a sudden we have to respond to. We weren't ready for it, and we have to act. And Gemini is okay with acting, in a crisis. But Uranus is preparing you. It's going to be in your 12th house for the next 7 years. And it's preparing you to deal with, dig up dredge your psychological lake. Whatever's been holding. It's a good time to go for therapy or counseling, where you get at what are the patterns in my life that are not productive. What are the patterns that have been holding me back, that have been sabotaging me and my happiness and my success? What can I change? But you have to see it first. So Uranus is going to bring it up so that you can be freed from it. It's going to, dredge the swamp, kind of, so you can see what's there. And once you see it, you can release it. Because then when Uranus crosses your ascendant in 7 years, it's going to be hitting your first house. You're going to be ready for change. Really, like, major changes. And the way you deal with the world, the way you're seen in the world. So for now, it's kind of a quiet time. It's a time of contemplation. It's a time of dealing with your personal demons. It's a time of really finding out who you are and what you need. So just take your time and rest this summer. With all this retrograde energy, everything's going to slow down anyway. But be prepared. You have to know what you want before you can get it. So now's the time to really think. What am I wasting my time on? Is it a relationship that's not giving me what I deserve? Is it a career path that's not giving me what I deserve? Where do I want to go? Where I will be welcome, where I will be honored, where I can feel fulfilled. So those are the issues that you're going to be dealing with in July. At the full moon, certain things are going to come to light. You're going to, the full moon always brings things, it shines its light on things. So you're going to see certain truths in your relationships with your relatives, with the way you communicate. Maybe you're not communicating, with Mercury opposed to Neptune, or Venus opposed to Neptune. That can bring confusion. And Mercury retrograde, now's not the time to sign any contracts or start any new jobs. Wait till it's only 3 weeks, and then Mars will be going direct in September or August. It'll come out of its shadow. So this time card is the perfect time for taking action. You're not going to take action until the fall. And at that point, you might be deciding to end a cycle and begin a whole new cycle, because whatever has been stressing you is going to come to an end. And then you're going to feel energized by the fall to start a new path. Maybe you'll wake up and you'll have certain realizations, like, okay, I've been doing this wrong, and now I know what I need to do. So I'm going to stop doing whatever's not working. I'm going to start doing what is working. You're going to have it figured out by then. But there's a lot of information you don't know. And it's going to come out over this eclipse period. Things are going to come out. The truth is going to come out. Things that were hidden, especially with Mercury retrograde. Things are changing. I mean, you're in this, it's like you're in this, like a washing machine. Things are getting tumbled all over the place. And you have to wait for the cycle to end and everything to settle down before you can see what's going on. You can't act with partial information. You can't make decisions when things are hidden. You have to wait and see how things are going to change, because things are changing and you can't see that from right now. You're going to see it later. So before you make a decision, you want to make sure all the changes have happened, so then you're making a decision with full information, complete information, and then that way you can get on the right path. And if you need help making those decisions and seeing those things clearly, don't be afraid to go to a friend or a counselor or someone whose opinion you value, because they're there to help you to get through the maze and the confusion. So that's my forecast for July, Gemini. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope this reading was a help to you. If you'd like to work with me on a one-on-one basis, just click on the link in the description box and it'll take you to my website and we can schedule a reading. In the meantime, enjoy the month of July, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.